I'm JP Novin, the CEO of the Plexus Student Network. I'm honored to serve as a moderator for today's event. This workshop is scheduled to be 60 minutes long. Our meeting today will be divided into 3 informative segments. At this workshop, we'll guide you through the crucial steps that lie ahead, ensuring that you're all well prepared for a smooth transition to Averett Universities. To kick things off, each of our esteemed panelists will provide insights regarding essential topics related to admissions, financial aid, and what you need to get ready for fall 2024. The second part of our question and answer, which will take place after the panelists have presented, is our Q&A section. So what you see here on the bottom is using the Q&A button during the presentation. Please ask your questions in a written format, and our team will do their best to answer as many questions as possible. Additionally, the Averett team will be available for 10 minutes after the meeting concludes to ensure that all questions are satisfactorily answered. Towards the end of our session, we'll highlight a few key questions from our panelists to address. Joining us today for this insightful workshop are our esteemed experts and leaders from Averett University. We're honored to have with us Dr. Vanita Mitchell, Vice President of Student Engagement, Mr. Carl Bradshaw, Director of Financial Aid, and Mr. Matthew Mann, Director of Admissions. Without further delay, it is an honor to introduce our first panelist, Dr. Vanita Mitchell, who is the Vice President of Student Engagement at Averett University with over 30 years of experience in higher education. She believes in actively engaging students through academics, relationships, and co-curricular activities. Holding a PhD in educational leadership, Dr. Mitchell joined Averett in 2021 and is dedicated to fostering an engaging campus environment for student success. Dr. Mitchell? I believe you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I'm so glad you're joining us tonight. I'm in a noisy building, so I wanted to wait to unmute. I'm even more excited that you are either have already decided that you're going to join us in the fall, or you're here shopping for a little more information to find out. So hopefully we can get that information into your hands. I'm completing my 3rd year here at Averett, and I have not regretted my decision to come here. We have a dynamic staff that supports student success outside the classroom, and excellent faculty that are excited to teach you inside the classroom. Those of us that work at schools like Averett, we work here because we have the opportunity to really get to know students and be a part of your journey. It's a privilege to watch students come in and grow and watch their dreams come true. Here we'll meet you one day, and then the next day we'll see you in the dining hall. We may watch you perform if you're a theater major, or compete if you're an athlete, or participate in our different activities and things that we have. The team that I work directly with supports the student experience outside the classroom. As indicated in my bio, I really believe this is an important part of the student experience. You know, education, we don't give it to you when you get here. You know, you come here and you come get it. You engage in it and put your hands on it and really experience it. If you'll go back one, I want to talk about that building, if you can. This is the gateway to our campus. This is Main Hall. The photo that you see here, the top 2 floors, if you've been on campus, you kind of know this is our opening to our campus. But the top 2 floors are where students live. A lot of our new students, not all of them, but a lot of our incoming students live on that 3rd and 4th floor that you see up there. And then working our way down, the 2nd and 1st floor, those are administrative offices and student services offices. So our registrars, our AU Central that answers a lot of questions, financial aid are all in there. So that's a great building, a premier building that, again, many of our new students live in. On the next slide, you'll see this is some photos of our different campuses. The one in the left-hand corner, I'm coming to you live right now from the 4th floor of that building, the one with the yellow flowers. That's our student center. If I had my door open, you could hear the dining hall, which is right below me. We have late dinner in there, so students are eating in there right now. On the floor below that is our multi-purpose room and a pool table, a place where students hang out. Right now, there's an event celebrating International Women's Month. They're having an international tea. So when I finish here, I was really excited. I got one of the an invitation to attend, and I'll be jumping down there to sit with students and faculty and staff for that event. And finally, below that in the very corner, there's a Starbucks, our coffee shop. So that's a busy little building. To the right of that, you see one of our instructors teaching a student to jump over that fence, right? So horses are a faculty in our equestrian program. Above that is a game day photo from out at North, where a lot of our athletes compete at our facilities out there, but there's also classes out there. And then a shot of part of our fleet of planes that our students in our aviation major learn to fly in out at the airport. So blue and gold runs through this town. We have different locations that students learn and actively engage in. So the next slide is going to talk a little bit about academics, but I want you, and then opportunities on campus as well. And while I'm talking for these next few slides, I want you to think about where you think you're going to engage, right? When you come to Averett or where you go to school, think about where you envision yourself. I'm not going to really talk about our majors because admissions can help you with that, and you may have already done a little research there, but I want to hit on a few of the things that are just like next level learning that we have here. We have an honors program, and the students that choose to participate in that, about 20% of their courses, they just take a little deeper dive into the content and do a little more critical thinking. Students in the honors program often participate in the Honors Association, they attend conferences, they do maybe extra research, and often there's a trip involved. Last semester, our honors students went to, during fall break, went to New Orleans and studied the culture, the food, the music, and learned about it before they went, and then just really immersed themselves in it. Our general education curriculum covers a wide breadth of things that we believe students need to know in order to go out into the world and be prepared with their careers. If you already know what your major is, then those Gen Ed courses help you dig a little, kind of hone your soft skills that you'll need when you get out and get jobs. If you don't know your major, then the general education curriculum can help you maybe decide your major by learning what you do like, what you don't like, what your strengths are. Service learning, each major that we have does some service learning courses. And this is where we really feel like at Averett, the Danville is our petri dish, right? We get our students out into Danville in the community, applying their learning through improving the community, but also building their resume with different projects. So some examples of that are like our nursing students this past semester worked with housing insecurities and used their skills of mental and physical health to work with housing insecurity. We have our biology courses, worked with the city and a professor to kind of research water quality and how that impacted underrepresented populations. So things that let them really apply what's happening in the classroom to service to others. And certainly we have study abroad opportunities for those that are interested in that as well. Then to help you thrive in the classroom, the next slide starts to talk about some of our support and resources that we have. Here, we did a personalized advising experience, and our advisors are faculty. So if you know your major, often you'll have a faculty member by your second or third year that's definitely right in your major, that's helping you, guide you, find out what your real interest is and which gen eds will help and which direction helps with the career that you have. So we use our faculty as our advisors. Then we have a success center where we have student success coaches that actually help with time management, study skills, can connect you to tutoring, math and writing support. And we have even our honors students that use the Success Center, right? It's everybody can get a little something from that while they're in college. This area also has the disability support services. If you had accommodations in your high school or wherever you've attended, this area also helps with getting those accommodations set up for you here. We also know that counseling and health services is an important part of keeping students, their wellness and their mental health are as important as their physical health in order for them to be successful in the classroom. So all that available right here on campus. Next, let's get to the stuff that I really love, which is the engagement opportunities that we have. Not in addition to the academic engagement, we have lots of clubs and organizations, plenty for you to get involved in. We have a Sister for Sister group that's empowering women. We have Campus Activities Board. A lot of the majors have something with it, like an education club or the nursing club. We have an international students club, student government, anything students want. If we don't have it, they can create it. Lots of international cultural programming. Spiritual life is really starting to take off. They're doing more and more programming. Volunteer service, lots of leadership development, opportunities to be a student leader. If you've been involved in high school, you're going to be able to jump right into those opportunities. Intramurals and wellness, again, focusing on that physical and mental health, and lots of campus activities. Homecoming week is crazy around here. There's things every night, and then we have another spring fling week. So the social is just as important as the other when you're here. All right, next up, I think I'm going to talk to you about our residential campus. On the slideshow that started at the beginning, I saw a few clips of students in residence halls. We are an intentionally residential campus. Most of our students, particularly first, second, third year students, live on campus. But if you're a commuter that's jumped on this call, don't worry. We have lots of things for commuters to get involved on campus. But why live on campus, right? I think the things that we see are it's convenient and accessible, right, to your classes, the dining hall, the resources, the library. Personal growth occurs in the residence hall, life skills, taking care of yourself and making decisions, not to mention the support of peers that are in the hall and around you. And it's really living in the residence halls gives you an opportunity to enhance your campus engagement through quick access to events, peer relationships, we're pushing that a lot. And let's be honest, even fire drills create memories and stories for a lifetime, especially those that are 2 o'clock in the morning. If you're a deposited student, some of you have already taken care of our 2-step process for your residential experience. Some of you already completed the housing application and signed up for your room. You're all set to go. If you haven't done that, don't panic. For students that may have recently deposited or are thinking about depositing, the date you want to remember is May 15th. This is your next opportunity to jump in and get the housing application done and sign up for space on campus. May 15th, remember that date. So now, right, we've talked about the academic classes, we've talked about engagement, we've talked about res life. What's left to do? It's time to roar. Roar is our summer orientation. This is a 1-day opportunity for you to come to campus. Once you've deposited, you can sign up. This is a 1-day event where you start to make Averett your home. You and your family can come, or fans, whoever's with you, and attend a day to really get you ready for fall. The purpose of our Roar Day is to get you to that last part, that readiness. You'll finish up any last minute business maybe you need to do with student accounts, with health services, with your immunization records. If you've taken the placement test early, which I know all of you will, you'll get a schedule. You'll meet with faculty from that division and meet other students that are going into the same major, or if you're undecided, you'll meet other undecided students and start to build that process of what you want to do. But it's really our chance to get you to start to make Averett your home. And I believe when Matt talks at the end, Matt Mann, he's going to share with you a little bit more about those registering for that. But the QR code, if you're already deposited, it's going to take you right where you need to go to register. We have 3 dates, our first one being May 17th, then one in June and one in July. That's my timer telling me my time is about up. I was talking fast to get it to you.
Dr. Mitchell, that was very informative. Thank you so much. I'm sure everyone will benefit. All of our 45 attendees will benefit from this tremendously. Next, please join me in welcoming Mr. Bratcher, the Director of Financial Aid at Averett University. Mr. Bratcher has an incredible career spanning over 30 years in professional financial aid experience. His invaluable expertise is going to help you combine with decades of professional excellence to really navigate the financial aspects of higher education, especially some of the nuances that came this year. Mr. Bratcher, the floor is yours.
I'm actually on the phone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we could hear you. Yes. I could hear
Okay.
you.
All right. All right. So what I've done, I've pulled up the slides, and I just want to start from the first slide, which it talks about better FAFSA. Okay. So we're going to concentrate tonight. We're going to talk about the new FAFSA and some of the new changes that's been made to the FAFSA. We can go to slide 2. Slide 2 talks about the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. And the FAFSA is used to apply for federal student aid, which includes federal grants, which is Pell Grant, work study, student loans. We have a number of students that work on campus, whether it be in the library or at our North Campus, off campus at some of our community services, Boys and Girls Clubs, so different organizations. They could also work in the financial aid office at Averett Central. So there's a number of places on campus that students can work. The application is a free application. I mean, I would caution you, you should never have to pay anyone to help you fill out that application, and it is a free application. But also, it's not just federal student aid. When you fill out the FAFSA form, we'll analyze that form and also determine whether you qualify for any kind of need-based aid. So that's why it's so important for you to complete the FAFSA, and to also, you can benefit from outside scholarships also that may require you to complete the FAFSA, but also federal student aid. Next slide. The next slide talks about better FAFSA is simplified. If this is the first time that, especially parents, if you fill out a FAFSA before, it's totally different than what it was a year ago. The questions had been cut in half. Went from basically 100+ questions down to about 30 questions. It's faster. A lot of the parents that I've spoken with at Scholarship Day and some of the other special events that we have at Averett, it normally takes about 30 minutes. So I would give yourself a little bit more time than 15 minutes. I know this slide says 15, but I would expect between 15 to probably 45 minutes. You don't want to rush and complete the forms and not being able to submit it. So you really want to take your time with this. It is new, and it requires you to do some things that you have never done before, especially if this is not the first application that you completed. And it also, I mean, unlocks millions of dollars. They're expecting 7.1 million students to be eligible for Pell Grants, and that is a difference. That's one of the things that has changed with this new FAFSA. We should see more students that qualify for Pell Grant. We're expecting 1.7 million students receiving the maximum Pell. The maximum Pell is currently over $7,000, so that is money that you don't have to repay. That information will be sent to Averett, and we'll be able to determine whether you qualify for the maximum Pell. And if you don't qualify for the maximum Pell, you may qualify for the minimum or anything in between. So that's why it's so important for you to complete the FAFSA so that we can determine what type of federal student aid that you qualify for. The next slide talks about timeline, okay? And the timeline is now. If you haven't completed the FAFSA, you want to go ahead and do that now, okay? As you can see in March, the FAFSAs that have been processed have been sent to the universities and the state agencies, okay? So the next step is for universities to review those FAFSAs. They are new, and there have been some changes to the FAFSA. So that's the first thing that universities are doing is reviewing the FAFSA, just making sure that everything matches up. And sometime in April, schools will be sending out, the first award notifications. So with those no award notifications, there will be instructions for you to log into our self-service, and you can review your award offer. And then at that time, you can make a decision based on the merit aid or federal student aid and, student loans. If you're thinking about a payment plan, there's very different options that you may have. You may have a 529 plan. If you do, please contact us, send us that information. Any type of outside scholarships, please notify us of any outside scholarships that you may have, and we will include that in the award offer. Last slide here is a checklist. It's 6 things that you need when you sit down to complete the FAFSA. First thing is, the login to studentaid.gov, and you want to create an account, okay? And not just the student, the parents would need to create an account too. So that is something different. More than one parent can complete a FSS ID, and that's going to be important because in order for the FAFSA to be completed, to be submitted, you have to e-sign the application. Also, you're going to need your 22 tax returns. It's always prior year. So for 23 tax returns, you would use those for the 25, 26 FAFSA. Information from the parents, the contributors, okay? My advice would be to sit down with your parents when you decide to fill out the FAFSA. We say 15 minutes, well, probably about 30 to 45 minutes. Any kind of records with untaxed income. Normally, if you have a full copy of your tax returns, you're going to have those Schedule A's or Schedule B's, any kind of records of assets that you have. And at least you can add up to 10 to 20 different universities if you need be. Okay, so you do have that option with the online application. I wouldn't advise you to complete the paper application. That's just going to slow down the process. You want that FAFSA, especially in March. It's getting close to April. You're getting close to making decisions. The quickest way to get that application completed will be online. If you have questions, there is a helpline that you can call. If you having issues with, if you need to make corrections, you can go ahead and make those corrections if you've already completed the application. I know that if you complete it anytime in February or January or February, you can go back and make those corrections now. So the FAFSA is fully operational now. Any questions that you may have, any corrections that you need to make, you can go back into the dashboard, log back into studentaid.gov, and you can make those corrections. I would say, if you haven't completed FAFSA, go ahead and do that. That is the first step. And just remember, the FAFSA is a form that you have to complete each year. So it's not 1 year driven. You have to complete those for the next 4 years. You will be notified either by Department of Ed, studentaid.gov, you get something from FAFSA, and also you'll receive something from the university. We'll start sending out emails probably in October just to remind you, hey, the FAFSA is ready. You can go ahead and complete that, and we'll give you instructions, and we'll let you know what tax return that you need to complete the application. If you have any other questions, you can go to the chat and put those in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get those questions answered, or you can call Averett Central at Averett, and if you have questions about the FAFSA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bradshaw. I noticed there aren't a lot of Q&A questions. This is a perfect time to ask more questions as we have, the Director of Enrollment, Admissions, Financial Aid. This is a great time to put up more questions and we'll get them answered for you. Thank you so much. Next, we have with us Mr. Matthew Mann, the Director of Admissions at Averett University. Matt brings a very unique perspective. He's both an alumnus and a former transfer student. He graduated in 2008 with a bachelor's degree in global marketing management. His journey led him through various industries before returning to Averett in 2012. His firsthand experience allows him to genuinely connect with families during the admission process. Mr. Mann, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Novin. And I just again want to welcome everyone tonight. I think there's a lot of faces on the call that I've had a chance to meet personally, so it's good to see some familiar names. And I know we do have lots of different types of students with us tonight, so I'm going to go through lots of different things. But first and foremost, I know we have a pool of students with us tonight that have already deposited. So we want to welcome you guys. You guys have committed. You're ready to attend Averett this upcoming fall. So what's next for you? So first and foremost, as Vanita mentioned, we want you to make sure that you're registering for ROAR. ROAR is that what we call our orientation program. And why is it early to go ahead and do that if you have not done so already? The reason why is at a small school like Averett, there's a little bit of competition for schedule. So the earlier you can get in for one of those events, the better schedule you're going to have. It's going to be able to fit your lifestyle and your schedule a little bit personally better. And also to get a better choice of classes, you might have a better choice of timing. All those types of things are going to be important. So say you've registered for ROAR, and what's next? So here coming soon for all you deposited students, you're all going to receive some emails regarding things like placement exams and next steps to get ready for ROAR. Those placement exams will be things for specific exams for math and English. Some of you all may get one for foreign language, but this will be something, like I said, that just helps you get placed into some of those entry-level courses. So some other things that you want to do before ROAR, as Carl mentioned, you want to make sure that you have a chance to get some of that financial-laden student accounts things taken care of. So that's going to make the day a little bit smoother to get those things taken care of beforehand. Also, you all are going to start receiving information about health history forms and those types of immunization records that the university needs for you living in the dorms and to be a student on campus, as well as make sure those housing forms are completed. As Vanita mentioned, May 15th is a very, very important day for you all, so making sure those are done. Now, I have a little QR code here, and so if you are able to take screenshots of it and scan it, or what that might be, this is a QR code that's going to take you to the link to register for ROAR if you have not done so. We're running a kind of a little thing special for you all that have attended tonight. If you register for ROAR, if you've already done so, by April 15th, you will actually receive an additional voucher, an additional Amazon gift card in addition to the one that you're receiving tonight. And so that's something that we're kind of doing for those that are in attendance tonight. So make sure you get that registration done for ROAR. The one last thing I would tell you, so let me back up. So you've attended ROAR. What are you doing next? Again, make sure those things are taken care of that you maybe did not get done at the event. Those health history forms, if you need to go back and take those on. But ultimately, we want you to get everything done at the event so you can enjoy the rest of your summer. So make sure, again, that you're registering for those dates. The last thing that you'll see here when it comes to the ROAR dates, you'll see things about athletic forms. The athletic department will reach out to those if those are applicable, reach out to you if those are applicable to you. But final transcripts are very, very important when it comes to getting ready for ROAR. Now, I know many of you guys who will be attending our May ROAR may not have those ready. That's totally fine. But just make sure you bring maybe an unofficial with you that's going to have record of some of those spring courses that you're taking, especially if you're looking to bring things like dual enrollment credit in, AP credits, because I know lots of times AP scores do not get to us until July. So making sure that you have those things handy are just going to be helpful to make sure you're getting the most accurate schedule possible. So again, feel free to throw some questions in the chat if you have those specific about the day. JP, if you could happen to go to the next slide for me. We threw this in here because this year we have decided that our ROAR events are going to be in person. We want you guys to be on campus, to have a chance to see campus if you have not gotten here, but really and more importantly, that Roar event is a great day for connection to student leaders, as Dr. Mitchell mentioned, meeting people like the dean, meeting people like I said, orientation leaders, RAs, things along those lines are going to be really important to help make that student experience better. So here's a quick map that's going to show just some locations that are pretty close to us. We want you guys to understand that it's a pretty easy drive into Averett from where we are. But also, we have some fairly large airports nearby with RDU in Raleigh, as well as Greensboro, if you're looking to fly in for a Roar event. That said, if virtual is an option for you, it is a last resort. We do have a virtual event that will be at the end of summer for those who aren't able to attend in person. But again, like I said, there's a lot of benefit this year to making sure you are there in the in-person event. So you have decided to send your transcripts to Averett and you've been accepted, but you have not deposited yet. Say you're one of those students with us tonight. What's next? Well, first and foremost, you want to make sure that you're not missing out on any of those things I just talked about. Those are going to be things that are going to be really critical in making sure that you're getting ready for the fall semester. So first and foremost, we want to make sure you're getting that deposit in. Now, some of you all may have received communication about this through emails or through text from counselors, but there is a deadline quickly approaching that is for our early deposit award. This year, because of the FAFSA delays, we moved our early deposit deadline to March 31st. And if you deposit by that date, you will receive an additional $1,000 per year in an early deposit scholarship. For those who have already done so, that will automatically be reflected in your award from Mr. Bratcher and his team. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting those in, as well as you can see there's some additional voucher opportunities for you. Now, I know many of you guys have been communicated to that the national decision deadline is May 1st. That is a big day for a lot of people to make decisions, but this year we've decided to push ours back to June 1st just because of those FAFSA delays. We want to make sure that you guys are having things in front of you that are going to be important to those decisions, for you to go ahead and make those decisions about college, things like financial aid, and we just want to make sure you have those things in front of you. Now, we understand as well that even the deposit students, many of you guys are waiting for financial aid packages. As Mr. Bratcher mentioned, things are kind of a full go now. So I did put in here a QR code that you can scan if you're looking to get an early award estimate or an estimated award. But at this point with the FAFSA Live, I would highly encourage to make sure you're following that FAFSA. Now, I do want us to kind of pause here and let you all know that if you may have heard by attending the event, as Mr. Bratcher mentioned, there are a lot of changes happening this year, not only with the FAFSA, but some things here at Averett. So you all are going to be able to access your financial aid awards in a brand new portal, and you'll be communicated to about this. But I'm going to show you guys some estimated awards so you can kind of get an idea of what these look like. So if we can have the next slide, I just want to pop in. You can see this is a breakdown of estimated cost of attendance. Now, there's a lot of details that go into these that my counseling team are happy to sit down and chat with you about, but there are things like direct cost and indirect cost that kind of factor into some of these decisions. But say you're living off campus or you're commuting, obviously you can cut housing and food out, but things like transportation, those are just estimated costs that you accrue potentially by getting to and from campus. But that tuition and fees and housing and food are going to be those main costs to look at. Now, you can see down here in the bottom left, you'll see a place for scholarships. This is going to be places where you see things like your merit scholarship. So whether it's the Presidential Award, the Dean Scholarship, the Founders Award, the Horizon Scholarship or Discover Scholarship, those are going to be all located down there in that merit-based category. You're also going to see things like those early deposit awards that we refer to. If you attended a scholarship day or a student success day, you'll see those awards kind of located in those sections. You'll also see things like visit grants, as well as any other outside scholarships. So things like the Plexus Visit Award that we have coming up, all different types of outside scholarships will be located in that area. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a section for grants. This is going to be a place where you see things like your Pell Grant, state-based funding, things like VTAG will all be located there. And then lastly, you'll see at that bottom, that block that's called Averett Assistance. This is the award that Mr. Bradshaw was referring to that's going to be additional need-based money. Averett being a private school, we have the fortune to be able to award additional assistance to our families outside of the federal need-based parameters. So we have our own awards here called Averett Assistance, and that's where you'll start seeing additional aid from Averett. Now, those are based off the FAFSA. So as Mr. Bradshaw mentioned, it does require you to file the FAFSA to get all those different forms of aid. And so if you just hop to the next slide real quick, this is the next page of that. So this is where you'll see things like required cost. And so these are all just based off of some calculations. But again, I really encourage you to speak to our team when it comes to getting these exact numbers, because it's just easier to always have someone on the phone and chat through these. This is where you'll see things like your loan options, military benefit contacts if you have, if you're looking to use things like GI Bill or any kind of military benefits you may have, as well as your work study options. If you qualify for work study, you'll see that here listed as an option. All right, so the next group of students that might be with us tonight, you'll see that your application's been received, but what's next? You've heard about these things for deposited students. They're getting ready to lock in their summer plans and get their schedules made, go back home with a schedule in hand to say they're a college student. You've heard about all these deposit awards, but you've applied, but you haven't felt like you need to send your transcripts yet, or what didn't have a real urgency over it. We really want to encourage you to make sure you get those transcripts to us. We don't want you to miss out on those opportunities. So this QR code here will take you to a portal that will allow you to upload your transcripts directly. Now, I know many of you that have registered for the event will also have received information about how to upload those. But this is a place that if say you have a PDF of your transcripts, or you have a JPEG, you're able to load those in directly into the portal, so we have access to those. Now, again, there's no need to submit anything with those outside your transcripts. Like I said, the only thing we need for those applications would be those. No need for an essay or self-statement, anything along those lines. No test scores like SAT scores. Those are not needed as well. So by doing this, you're going to unlock what that merit scholarship is. So I refer to those awards like the Presidential Scholarship, which is $20,000. These are all based off the hard work that you've been putting into the classroom. So if you want to know what that is, get us a copy of your transcripts, and we'll let you know let you know next day. Lastly, your next action step is going to be the college visit. We've harped on this. You may have heard this before, but the college visit is very, very, very important. One, you're going to receive $1,000 to Averett just for visiting with us. So that's one big benefit. But two, seeing a place with your eyes is going to be a major indicator of it's somewhere you're going to feel successful. I often, when I meet with families, I talk to them about your body has a gut reaction for a reason. Trust it. When you step foot on a college campus, we want to make sure it's somewhere that you feel comfortable and want to be. My quick story, I always tell people, my father played played baseball for a very large university here in Virginia. I grew up going to football games and tailgating, and I always knew this is exactly where I want to go to school. I took my first official college visit. I said, that's the last place I want to go to school. And so those college visits are very important. So as you can see, it's still the number one indicator for understanding what a campus looks like, what people are like, and what culture is going to be like on that campus. So making sure those are going to be important factors in that decision for you outside of cost and those types of things. Types of visits, just so you don't know, there's at this point in the year, kind of our open houses are over. So we're taking students and families every single day on private visits. I encourage you to sign up for a private visit. We can make that as completely as custom as you would like. If you want to meet with faculty, if you want to meet with a coach, we can try to make all those things happen while you're on campus. During the visit, make sure you have those questions prepared. We want to make sure that you're leaving here with everything out the door. After the visit, like I said, we want to make sure that we're getting those applications completed. So I already mentioned, say you're a student here that you may have been listening in the background, or you got this link from another student and you haven't even applied to Averett. Again, you may have heard me talk a little bit about the application. It's super simple. We want to make sure that you're having access to all these things that we've already referred to. So again, just a transcript through that portal is all that's necessary. Again, no essays or references needed. Again, you might hear the term test optional. Test optional really means test optional here at Averett. If you have it, send it. We do not need it. That's not necessary. But feel free, like I said, if you've taken a test, feel free to send it. And then lastly, I would just talk a little bit about decisions and deadlines. As I mentioned before, we did push back our May 1st deadline this year. So if you want to make that deposit and you're still kind of on the fence, it is refundable now up until June 1st, but we want to make sure that we're getting everything to you in hand. Now, just again, Averett's on rolling decisions. So the faster you get those things to us, the faster we're going to make a decision for you. So I know there's lots of questions in the chat. I've seen the chat blowing up, so I'm going to hop in and help out with that. And if you feel free to have questions for me personally, send them to me. I'll stick around as long as necessary.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mann. So at this point, we're going to go through all the Q&As as we're answering them. I'm going to select a few questions to ask each of our panelists. As we're asking questions, you're going to see a poll show up on the screen. Please go through the poll and answer the poll. It is necessary to get this poll answered in order to qualify for the gift card. But before I get to the poll, I do want to highlight and summarize a couple of things that Mr. Mann mentioned. These are the list of scholarships here that are available. And I think both Mr. Bratcher and Mann could confirm that one of the unique aspects of Averett University is most students do graduate in 4 years. The average graduation rate nationally is 5 years or more. So the ability to graduate in 4 years because of a smaller campus and attention goes a long way when it comes to your financial aid planning. But Mr. Bratcher or Matt, do you want to talk about these scholarships a little bit further to students and highlight these?
Sure, I'm happy to. So these awards are, again, those merit-based awards that all of you guys who are deposited have been accepted, should have already seen. These are based off of your merit, as I mentioned. My bad joke is that you've always been told that hard work pays off. Averett actually puts a value to that hard work. So these are just based off your merit, not anything else other than that GPA. We have to make it fair. So we do our own calculations to get your GPAs all on the same scale. And then we cross team automatically award these scholarships just based off of that. I always tell families, this is the start of financial aid. This is not financial aid. This is just literally the very, very tip of the iceberg. And then I see the mouse hovering around those VTAG awards. Again, this is where that state money that most of you guys have heard about. We're just kind of waiting on the governor here in Virginia to lock down a budget before we know that final number. But everyone will be notified when that does come out. So these are some other awards that the university has that we actually will help automatically award for you. As I mentioned before, and as Carl mentioned, you'll see those Averett Assistance Awards based off your FAFSA. If you're a member of PTK, that's a lot of our transfer students who are maybe at community colleges, you automatically receive this award because we're notified by the community college of your PTK status. We are this year awarding a $5,000 Plexus Award, and this is going to be for students who have visited campus. We'll choose a student that will be receiving this award based off of those different statuses. And again, there's some other awards that we have. If you're graduate merit here locally or have completed a graduate merit type program, we were able to kind of award some additional funds there, as well as if you happen to be family members of clergy, we do offer some additional scholarships there. Carl, do you have anything to add as far as additional awards?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit about the private scholarships. We have a number of private scholarships, or you may be bringing in a scholarship from some different organization, any kind of clubs, churches that you may be a part of. We talked about the federal grant, Pell Grant. It's important to complete the FAFSA in order for you to qualify for federal grants. State grants, we just mentioned, VTAG. The good thing about VTAG, you only have to complete one application. We're hoping that the amount is currently $5,000, but maybe
sometime this summer, we'll find out if that actually increases. Pay close attention to the deadlines, especially local scholarships, any kind of state grant. That's very important. Some scholarships are only one time. But also, please send us a copy of any outside scholarships that you qualify for, and then we can include that in the award notification that we'll be sending out.
And just to piggyback off that as well, Carl and I have been doing this for quite a long time, and we often see students bring in small scholarships. They receive something from a boosters club at their high school for $500, or they receive something from a local Kiwanis club for $250. Those add up. And so from a counseling standpoint, I always encourage students to think small, think local when it comes to scholarships, because obviously those competitions can be a little bit less, and those do start adding up as Carl mentioned. We stack all that stuff up for you on your awards.
Thank you so much. I have three important questions to ask. We'll start with Dr. Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, this question is for you. Can you apply for housing and then choose not to attend or not to do it? Can you please help us with that question?
Yes, I answered that one, but yeah, other people may want to know. You can apply for housing, and if you qualify to live off campus, if you meet one of the criteria that we have for living off, then you can change your mind and live off. So if you're not sure, I would go ahead and apply and get through the process so that you have, the most access and choice to the housing that you want.
Okay, great. And Carl, this question is for you. It says we needed to make a change to the FAFSA forms, and when I went back in yesterday to make the change, it said process with a green check mark beside it. Does that mean all is good and I don't need to make any more changes?
That's a tough question. I'll try to answer that. Like I said, the FAFSA is new. So if it's been fully processed, then, we're going to get a copy of that FAFSA. But that shouldn't, you should still have the opportunity to log in to make corrections if you need to make corrections now. They've opened that back up for you to make corrections. So if you have any questions about that, there is a help desk that you can call and they can help you with that.
Great, thank you. And last question is for Matt. It says we attended art day and scholarship day, but I've not received the email for picking dorm or how to further deposit to an account. Please advise.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I often remind everyone that the communication does go to the student. So if you ever have questions about specific emails or specific communication that was not received, let us know. We're happy to go in, and we actually have the ability to see what was received, what was opened, all those things, just to make sure families are getting everything. But when it comes to making sure that those next steps are taken care of, the best way I would advise you is just to call us in the admissions office. Every one of you all have a personal counselor that knows your high school, that knows your territory. They'll be able to walk you through all those next steps of getting deposits in and things along those lines. Just know, even though that first housing deadline did pass, things are not filled up. This is a priority deadline. We even still have spots left in some of those kind of popular places, popular spots for freshmen. So I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about that yet. But again, the biggest piece of advice I would give is just to give us a call in the admissions office, and your counselor will walk you through everything.
Fantastic. Just to encourage you to do this faster, you're going to benefit from you, but we also want to thank you for not procrastinating. So for one, we've created a page, and we're also going to send you links via email, but here's a QR code. If you have any issues, let us know. Go ahead and scan it, even if it's a picture of your transcript, an official transcript. Go ahead and upload it. Okay, you really need that to get one step closer to orientation. That doesn't get you to orientation, but it gets you one step closer. The second one is one step to orientation is making the deposit. Okay, if you make a deposit, by March 31st, I mean, it's by Sunday, so it's coming up, but it's a long weekend, so you have time to think about it. You will qualify for the $4,000, $4,000 grant. Matt, do you want to talk about what that grant is all about?
I'm sorry, Dr. Novin, can you repeat that? I was answering a question in the chat.
Yeah, I'm talking about folks who make deposit. And basically how they would qualify for the $1,000 annualized grant.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been very fortunate to be able to offer an early deposit award that, again, those who deposit by the end of March will receive $1,000 annually, automatically added to your award, that will follow you again for your time here at Averett. Say you still need a little bit more time and you're not ready to make that decision yet by March, just know we do have another kind of award that will run in April that you'll receive $750 per year if that's something you need a little bit more time. And say you need even more time, hopefully by that point you've made your decision, you signed up for ROAR, you've gotten everything squared away for the summer. We are running one in May as well. That'll be $500 per year. So definitely an easy opportunity to get an easy $1,000. So that deposit is $300. Again, what that deposit is, it locks in your space for the fall class. It allows the university to know, hey, this is a student who's serious about coming. And then that's when we start getting things ready for you for housing. ROAR opens up again. I can't stress the importance of ROAR and why it's so important to get registered for that and make sure you make those plans to be here for those.
Last not least, first of all, congratulations for everyone who's committed and made their deposit. Please go ahead and register for the orientation by 4:15. We love to see you all in these orientations that are coming up on May 17th, June 18th, and June 19th. So really, we want to, what Averett is trying to do is make sure that you're ahead of the curve in your education and obviously in your career to come. Having said that, all of our esteemed speakers, you could see their emails, you could see their phone number. This is definitely part of Averett approach, which is once you join Averett, you got entire support. So you have their number, you have their email, and we'll stay on for another 10 minutes to answer any remaining questions. Soon you're going to receive some information about all the links that we've talked about. I want to thank Dr. Mitchell, Mr. Mann, Mr. Bradshaw for their time, and all of our attendees at Averett University. Thank you very much. Have a nice long weekend. Appreciate it, everyone.